Welcome back to 5150 Adventures, and in today's video we're putting off the 52 and the race truck so that we can work on something special. Now, we all know that we have that one family member you'd love to help out. You'll take care of that family member no matter what happens, rain, snow, shine, whatever. And that is my middle brother for me, and my younger brother as well. But my middle brother, he is down a vehicle. And his vehicle is broke down. I don't know if it blew the motor. Either way, the engine does not want to start at all. So we're not even going to mess with it. It's whatever. So what I'm going to do for him, and this is a complete surprise to him, is I've cleaned the shop out. I've got the gooseneck hooked up and ready. Tomorrow after work, on my way home, I'm going to swing by where his first vehicle is being stored. Now, he still owns it. He knows where it's at, but he's not going to know for long. I am going to bring it over, park it right here behind me, and I'm going to get it roadworthy. I want to check the brakes, make sure it doesn't need any master cylinders, brake cylinders. I know it needs a slave cylinder. I know it's going to probably need cap, rotor, plugs, wires, carburetor cleaned, and all that. And you may be wondering what it is. Well, I don't know the exact year. I wish I did. But it's a late 70s, early 80s CJ5 with Chevy Blazer front and rear axles and a 261 inline six, I believe. 4-speed manual, 4-wheel drive, custom boxes built on it, soft top, bikini top is on there as well. It goes on and on. So alrighty guys, so we got it in the garage. It was a pain in the butt, but we got it. So here it is. It's got 3 flat tires, 1 here, 2 on the other side. I need to go through the carburetor on this. I need to make sure what engine's in it is actually what it is. There is a problem with the master slave cylinder or the slave cylinder itself and the brakes. There is none. So I'm going to start with relifing the battery, bleeding the brakes. He's going to come over, which my brother found out, and he's all excited to work on it with me now. So he's going to come over while I'm at work tomorrow at some point and get the tires put back on the bead, air them up, and get it to where we could roll it around in the garage and move it over if we need to and everything like that. So this turned into, from a surprise to a good bonding time for me and my brother, which we don't get to do very much. So I'm super excited for that. But like I said, inline six, Chevy axles. It's a 4-speed manual, 4-wheel drive, and yeah, it's a cool little Jeep. So alrighty guys, well, I got off work early today because I'm changing jobs, and they were like, hey, get your tools loaded up and you can go home. So I decided I'm going to come home and kind of tinker on the Jeep for a little bit while the wife does what she's doing. And one of the things I found was this. Now, it's been sitting for 10 years. I did the math on that based off the license plate. And that'd be why we don't have brakes on the rear. And there was some talk about the slave cylinder not working. Well, that would be why there too. So I need to do a couple things. One, I need to clean out where the master slave cylinder is. Then I need to open the bottom up. I need to get fluid going through that. And then I need to do the same for the brakes. But on the brakes, this has drums. You can't really tell, I don't feel. Well, there you go. It's got drums on the rears and discs on the front. So I figured out what's wrong with the master clutch cylinder, and that was that it's leaking on the inside of the Jeep. So we're going to get one of those. Then the top on it was pretty rotted, falling apart. So I decided to take it upon myself to take it off. And the only thing that I was lacking right now is there's so much dust and stuff in these little parts that come apart that we need to get them out. But that's some WD-40 and stuff like that. On that part, I kind of cleaned out the inside just a little bit. Some of his stuff's here, some of it's over there. I'm going to slowly just start working on little bits here and there so that we can get a little bit further. I'm going to borrow the battery out of the 52, put it in here when he brings me the keys so that we could try to at least make sure it still turns over, for one. Two, I want to dribble some fuel down the carb and see if she fires. The wiring in here is atrocious, so one of the things I want to do is clean that up. That was definitely done in the 90s. Thanks to Amazon, we have access at the fingertips to get everything we need to make that look professional and watertight. That is one problem I know this Jeep had, is when we would go play around in it when we were kids, or young adults, I should say, we'd always end up having to wait for things to dry out so we could fire it up. So one thing I've looked into, well, two things I've looked into. Number one, this is a single carb, single whatever carb, one jet carb, I don't know what you call it, but I did find out it's Autolite, and Holley does make a EFI sniper kit that would work on this. So that's one thing I want to talk to him about. That way it's easier to fire for him. It always started pretty good, but it's also been sitting 10 years, and it'd be nice to have it, one, more efficient, two, you know, update it a little bit and make it to where it runs better and actually fires off first round. A couple days I've been working on this Jeep, been looking problem after problem after problem after problem, and I put a new ignition switch in it. It did try turning over when I, almost fell. It did try turning over when I hot wired it. And so I put the new, it's like, oh, well, we're going to put a new ignition switch in anyways to get it done. Well, I brought my power probe from work, and when you have the key on, like right now it's off, okay? And if you go anywhere, it's hot. It's hot. You come over here, it's hot. It's got positive power throughout the body. I was like, what in the world is going on here? So I'm guessing, now this is a blatant guess, I'm not for sure. I'm going to find out here in just a second, but I'm thinking the starter is all jacked up, which is possible. It's sat for 12 years. I mean, it's been through weather, it's been through everything else with my brother. It, like I said, it did crank for a little bit and then it just stopped. So I'm going to unhook everything from the starter. Once I unhook everything from the starter, I'm going to see if power's still going through the body. I'm going to hook all those wires to themselves, all the positive ones, and try to separate to make sure if it is the starter or not. All right, so I got the battery disconnected, everything but where we tried to start it on the solenoid. There's nothing connected down there. So first thing, while nothing's connected, I want to try this. I have no power. Backfeeding. But now here's my question. If I hook up just powered, not the, this wire right here is all the power that goes to the cab. I could isolate that. The battery positive on to there, which, folks, if you can help it, don't use your starter as a positive for everything. I found out in the past with the race truck that it could cause things to just starting on their own. So let's try to avoid doing that. These are all positives. It's not that short of a distance to go from over there to here, even if you have to extend it. So now, let's see. We're still grounded. Okay, so now I want to try doing something with these and try getting it to hook straight to the battery and see if the cab is actually backfeeding itself. Now I'm starting to think that it's not the ignition switch. So here's what we're going to do now to test that. We're going to just try turning it. No, still nothing. But here's the weird thing. I'm not going to have, I just thought of that. I'm not going to have power over there. So now what I need to do is test those wires straight to the battery so as that I can see if it starts backfeeding. Because if it is backfeeding, then that tells me at that point it's underneath the dash and we should just take the window, lay all this down, the hood, the window, take the dash open, and get back there and just start finding out where the wire is jacked up. That makes me happy to know. So, actually, with the power probe, I can apply power. Now I got this. Oh. Now it's acting funky. Now let's see if there's power everywhere again. Nope. Still don't have power everywhere. But I was able to crank it. We have two problems. One, starter is going out. It cranks slow and then stops. I have a good battery that I know works because not but a day ago I had it in that and it cranked over and fired that up. So I know that I need a starter. I'm going to ohm it out just to make sure because I think it's in the solenoid. But it starts clicking and on and off and when I apply power, so I know that that's bad. It did crank for a little bit. You guys heard that. So I'm excited for that. But other problem I found. I hooked this wire up here and hold it and then put it to here. I have like 0.2 volts, 0.2 ground. But if I put this yellow wire on and I'm going to try holding the camera here so you guys can see this. Let me see how I can do this here. So if I'm holding that yellow wire onto the positive of the battery and I touch this to the valve cover, that shows I have 12.5 volts. See the red there? That means I have positive volts. And if you look on there, if it has positive volts to it, the plus goes red. If it has negative, goes there. I'm not even going to touch. I'm going to hold it just like this. So you guys know I ain't touching the wires. But it touches and it turns red. You can see it. My hand's not anywhere near the button. But I take this off. Nothing. Neutral. Same with the other one. If I put the other one on there, it's got ground, but it doesn't have positive. So whatever that yellow wire goes to, and I gotta crawl under the dash and try finding that out. Better yet, instead of crawling under the dash and finding it out, I just need to forget about working underneath the hood for a minute, close the hood, flip the glass down, and open up the dash and find out where it goes. I believe part of it goes to the voltmeter, and it may go over to key ignition on. I don't know. It may go from key ignition on to the voltmeter. There's half a dozen different ways that could be playing out. So I'm going to ohm some stuff out and get as close as I can tonight on this. I'm hard at it. found some electrical problems in the harness here. It was shorted out to ground wire, which if you look back there, there's 2 wires cut right back in here, right next to my finger. Got that pulled away, rewrapped it, made sure everything was good, and boom. We got the right starter this time. Got it in. I got it hooked up. I started cranking on it, got fuel to it. Well, the fuel pump started leaking, so I changed that out, and you can tell just by the crustiness, it has been on there a while. So then I cranked it some more to get fuel up to the carburetor, and where that brass piece is right there, there's an O-ring or O-ring gasket, kinda, sorta, that goes in there. I had to replace it because it was leaking. So then I did that and got fuel to the carburetor. Once I got fuel to the carburetor, I made sure it was topped off. Now, mind you, doing all this, I had the coil unplugged so that all I was doing was getting fuel to it, The fuel tank was empty, dry as a bone, so I went and got 5 gallons of fuel, put in it, and primed everything up. So now I have had it running, and I did set the carb. I did not get it on video because I had my father-in-law here with me, and I don't want to put him on camera because I don't know if he's comfortable being on camera, and I didn't ask either. So, but now you come around over here and turn the key on, and that is literally the first time since I got it running where it's popped back through the carburetor. I think a lot of that has to do with plugs and wires. The timing seems right on because it just kicks right off. So I'm going to replace the plugs, wires, cap, rotor. But as of right now, she is running. I'm going to do an oil change on it. I wanted to make sure it was going to run before. I do have just about 30 psi, maybe a little bit more of oil pressure on there. It is charging at about 13 volts, and then I did have it up about 190 earlier, but I was pushing air bubbles out. All I have is water in it right now, mostly because I just wanted to make sure it was running correctly before I put coolant in it. So I went to O'Reilly's. I got everything kinda that I needed. I got some high mileage 1040. I'm going to switch it from 1030 to 1040 just because it's been sitting a while. I want it to seal everything up really good. I got an oil filter. I did get some zinc additive just because of the fact it's been sitting 10 years. I don't want it to just start wearing everything really funky and weird. The other thing I did is I got a nice coil for it. I'm not saying that the coil on this is bad, but it ohmed kind of weird when I was testing it. So I figured just be safe and sorry, get a new coil. It is a nice Max Fire one. Hopefully it'll work. We'll find out here in a bit. But I'm going to do an oil change on this really quick. And then we got the plugs and wires ordered. I just decided to go with Iridium plugs and a nice set of wires. Then I'm going to wire the wires. I'm going to make really nice. That way they're not just hanging. Like, this is sloppy to me. Like, this is ridiculous. And then they go underneath here instead of above, and you can't tie it up nice anyways. Then we got all this crud to worry with, and I got to switch this yellow wire to being up here. I need to get rid of this wire and go to a 1 gauge, like the same gauge as what the winch and the positive are. So I'm going to run it just straight up, over, around, and then back over here instead of going all the way up and then it's splitting off and looking weird here. Right, so I pretty well am at the last step of the CJ5 build. So I have the master clutch cylinder on order. It should be here tomorrow. So I'll pick that up on the way home. I have an air cleaner on order. It should be here this afternoon sometime. Not going to pick it up until tomorrow as well. But I did get some help this morning. We got the brakes bled all the way around, and I'll tell you what, the master cylinders didn't leak, and they built pressure. This is going to end up this video. Next time you see this thing, we're going to be doing body work on it, and boy do we have a lot to do. We have found a lot of Bondo that was ill prepped, I guess is the best word to say it, and we found a lot of prepping that was not very good. So we're going to get started on body work.